Awesome. All righty, we're on. Well, big welcome. I'm really excited to last minute take this call because our old poor Nat has lost her voice. So I know she was looking forward to doing this, but she's called me about 15 minutes ago and said, can you host? So she's just lost her voice, but she is on the call. So I'm super excited to welcome the beautiful Kate and Ant Golle all the way from Gold Coast on our, well, Nat's Team B call tonight for everyone. And I'm quite excited to actually introduce these guys because I've actually known Kate and Ant for many years. I think I worked out maybe about 12 years ago, I actually first met Anthony and Kate when I was in the chiropractic industry. And I was lucky enough to meet them over in Gold Coast. And reflecting on all those years ago, these guys back then were doing amazing stuff. You know, they were the top of their field. I used to do training. Kate used to get up on stage in front of hundreds of people and do training. And I used to look at her and be totally inspired by her as well. So I've been able to follow this journey of theirs amazingly in the chiropractic industry. But, you know, it's such a small world how this comes about. And we get to, you know, sideline now so many years ahead to today, and you know, completely inspiring everyone else in a different avenue. So I'm so excited for these guys to speak tonight. Now, Nat just sent me a little bio and I was reading it and I was like, man, you guys, like, there's things that come out the closet all the time. I didn't know that Ant had these couple of things up his sleeve. But anyway, so there's a bio here for Ant that's basically, Ant was one of the most outstanding soldiers in the Australian Army, which, wow, I never knew that, and also raced the Hawaiian Ironman as well. So that's a little bit about Ant. He's an amazing chiropractor as well. Kate, also, she is an executive producer of the Overfed and Undernourished movie, author of Raising Healthy Families. She is 100 Club, and also Ant is 60 Club, which is amazing. They also have 3 gorgeous kids, 4, 6 and 8. And these guys truly have raised the bar in Juice Plus. And I'm so excited. I'm not going to speak anymore because we want to hear some amazing golden nuggets. They've also just come back from Vegas, from GoPro, and I'm sure they're going to share some amazing tips from there as well. So over to you guys, and I'm going to spotlight you now as well.
Thanks. Well, it is amazing how life has a way of bringing people back, you know, together again. And I remember all those years ago as well, hun, like when we were together at the seminars and things. So I love that. I love the community that Juice Plus is all about. So thanks so much, guys, for having us on. We are back from Vegas and definitely pumped up from what we got to experience there, and excited to be able to share that with you. And we love answering questions. So if you guys have any questions that pop up on the way, please just throw it in chat and we'd love to cover that. When we went over to Vegas, I didn't really know what to expect. You know, we have massive belief in the industry, massive belief in the products. And so we had to just step into an environment where it was completely company neutral. So nobody knew what organisation anyone was from. But being in a room of 20,000 people was insane. And there was definitely some character traits and threads of all of the speakers that were on stage that were 6- and 7-figure earners that we really kind of pulled from to kind of help our vision go to the next level of what we, you know, want for ourselves and our team. And yeah, just excited to share that with you guys tonight. So
I just follow on from that and saying 50% of the speakers, I was sitting there going, how did you end up earning $1 million a year doing this? I'm just like, if you can do it, anyone can do it. There's literally one lady who she put up a slide show of just words and just read the slides. And so I just wanted to say that because anyone can do this, all right? If they can do it, why not you? And then the other 50% were genuinely like mind-blowing, incredible speakers, polished. You know, there was a very strong representation of the millennials. 18 to 35, especially on the lower end, you know, who were $1 million earners up on that stage. They went through the stats, which I think is also good to know. 70%-ish are millennials who are doing anything in MLM. About 70% are women. But Australasia was also the biggest market. And so I just think right from that first half hour of opening of going through the stats, we're in the right place, in the right company, at the right time, with the right product.
I think, you know, one of the things that was a really good reminder, Anthony Robbins has played a huge part in our lives. Like, we've been a part of his events since 2001. So, you know, just all about goal setting and mindset and all of those things is really important. But I think at this time of the year, it's really easy to either take the foot off and cruise into 2017, or start the year with a clear intention of what it is that you're wanting to create and the goals that you have in mind. And that was something that really both Anthony Robbins and Eric Worre touched on, and it just became really apparent. Like, you want to be starting January knowing where you're going, knowing where you want to be 3 months in, 6 months in, what you want to be walking the stage at Aussie Conference, you know, in June, and how you want to be closing out the year. And if you don't do that, if you don't take some time in the next couple of, you know, weeks before we start the new year, you'll actually be on the back foot. So what we wanted to do tonight is really give you some key, I guess, areas of your business that you want to start asking yourself some questions around, and some focus, so that you can finish up the year strong, knowing with a real intention of what it is that you want to create. And probably the biggest thing that every single top earner had on stage that was common throughout was the belief and the intention that they were going to be at that level, that earning capacity, whatever it is for you guys. I mean, some of you on the line, you know, your goal's $1,000 a month. That's amazing, right? So don't, when we're talking about goals and things tonight, whatever your level of success is your level. So don't measure it based on someone else's path or journey. It's about what success is for you, and that's what's really important. But that's the big thing of having that intention. And the other belief, I guess, that I came away with is to earn, if you know, whether it's earning $500,000 a year or if it's $500 a month, the level of effort, the belief is way more important than the level of effort going in. Because when all of those leaders that stepped across the stage, they had this belief and intent that they were going to be at a certain level or earning a certain income, that was way more powerful, and that created the vacuum, versus doing way more action and kind of believing that they deserved it or that they were going to get there. So really, really important, you know, to touch on.
100%. I think the big thing is the vision. You know, I think in our Juice Plus bubble, the comparison game is a killer. Both of putting people on a pedestal, going, well, if they did it in that time, I wonder what I could do, because it stifles your potential growth. So one of the key, like we kind of, we'd set an intention really early on in the year to be at 100 club for November. And halfway through, it did not look like it, like remotely. I think in the end, we had 108 possible clubs to qualify 100. And so, Kate, we kind of did the, well, we'll see how it goes, which everyone knows how that turns out. And then I came inside and Kate's in tears, and I'm like, what's going on? She said, I just spoke to Linda. We're doing it. And I went straight into, okay, let's be reasonable. And she said, I already went live in the team. And I said, shit, we're really doing it. And so, yes, this little dynamo knocked out 30 club jump in literally a couple of weeks. And so I just wanted to tell that, because we were going into Vegas purely as a celebration and just a cruise through December and kind of pick back up, you know, into January somewhere. And we went there, and just being in that room and seeing people who every presenter had to be at least $1 million earner, and just going, I can't even put my finger on why, but our level of belief that we can be one of those people, instead of comparing, well, what else is other people doing in Juice Plus. So I would really encourage you to get to some events that are outside of Juice Plus. Start talking to people in other industries, in other companies. And how do they do things? Because you know what? It's just the state of network marketing is just ripe. To think that Richard Branson, Anthony Robbins are there on stage representing that, and there's 20,000 people, that it grew from 200 people in a room one year, and then 5 years later it's 8,000, and then the next year it's 20,000. And so I think we've definitely locked in that event for Vegas to be a staple for the team.
So if you guys will allow us, we'd love to kind of take you through kind of 9 steps or areas to focus on. It was a process that Eric took us through to kind of wrap up the event, and it'll just help you get really, really clear. One of the speakers spoke about there's only 2 things that we can control in life and in business, and the first thing is our attitude, and the second thing is our actions. And so at the end of the day, we can't control if our team are going to do the work or not, if they're going to jump on the events, or there's so many things out of our control. So focus on what you can control, and you get to control your attitude to things. You're going to see things as a hurdle, as a drama, as a lesson, as an opportunity to grow, or if you're going to see things, as a negative, or also what action you're going to take. So are you going to get stuck? Are you going to sit on your hands? Are you going to say, I don't know what to do? Or are you going to just say yes, tell the world, and then figure out the rest later? And sometimes one of my favorite quotes is, an imperfect plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. And I think sometimes we can get caught up in that analysis paralysis. So when I got the speaking skills, then I'll do my own event, or then I. And so if you keep playing that game, that day probably will never come. And so we really want to kind of push you out of the nest a little bit of your comfort zone, so that you guys have a cracking 2017. And so the first thing that you guys want to do tonight is decide what it is that, and let's call it, if we look at Aussie Conference, it's 6 months away, right? Think about what level, whether it's title, club level, or income level, you want to have created by the time you're walking the stage at Aussie Conference. So it'd be great for you to actually get to work and write that down, because if you don't think about it and you don't have that intention, and you're just kind of driving along the road and you're not really sure where you're going or what the outcome is, it's kind of pointless. So unless you've got a clear intention and knowing, well, what that income means, does it mean that it's part-time work for you, or that it's that holiday, or that it's, being able to, I'm 4 days off my dad having his last day of work ever, because we've been able to be blessed to be able to retire him because of what we've been able to achieve. But that was such a clear image for me of his last day of work. So get super, super clear on your vision. Like when you're clear on that, so much just falls into place that you aren't even aware of. So the people come, the skills come, the lessons come. But if you aren't clear and you haven't decided upon what that thing is, it's really hard to hit it when there's not even a target to hit, right? So the first thing, if you haven't written it down, I really encourage you to play along, is just write that down. And then the second thing you want to do is you want to commit to the skills that are necessary to help you get there. And so Eric talked about 5 different areas that you need to, it was more like 7 different areas where you need to assess your skill level if you feel like, yep, I'm rocking it, or that's a bit of a challenge for me, or I don't even do that. So have a check-in with yourself on these few things. So the first thing is talking to people. How's your skill level on that? Are you reaching out to people consistently? Are you, if you're in the shops or in a cafe, is it easy for you to get chatting with someone and see how long they've been working here, and do they love what they do? Is that something that you gravitate to, or that you kind of step away from? Check in with that. The next thing is inviting people to take a closer look. How's your skill level on that, and how's your rate of action on that? Are you doing that consistently? Do you find your intention is there to do it, but you don't actually follow through? So thinking about inviting. The next thing is presenting. So how great are you at presenting? Are you launching your business, or are your team launching their business well? Are you confident in every element of the business event? And can you do that? And are you raising to do the same? Maybe your presenting skills need some work, or you need to be practicing and getting out of your comfort zone. The next thing is following up. So it's all good if you're inviting people to take a closer look, but if then you're not circling back, and as Jeff Regretti talks about, the fortune is in the follow-up. If you're not following back up with people, then all of the other stuff's pointless. So do you need to get better at that? Do you need to get better at the questions you should be asking to follow people up with? So check in with that. The next thing is handling objections. So when people say, I eat enough fruits and vegetables, or I already take something, or I don't need that kind of stuff, or that's too expensive. Do you feel like you're really confident in how to respond to someone to actually turn that around? You know what? I used to think exactly the same thing. What I found was, so just looking at how are your skills to turn that around rather than turning it like into a fight or just backing down and not even, saying anything. The next thing is getting people started strong. So do you do a good job when teams say yes to you? Are they launching their business? Are they hitting the ground running? Are they doing the actions that we know they need to get the results they want? So there's an element of that, checking in your skill level on that. And lastly, promoting events. How great, where's your skill level at getting people along to events, getting them excited about events? So he really spoke about what do you need to do out of those areas to bridge the gap? Where do you need to upskill? Where do you need to train? Where do you need to connect with a mentor and ask for help? What books might you need to read? What events might you need to want to watch back on so you can kind of train and practice, which is really important. You learn in the doing of it. So sometimes we need to skin our knees a little bit to go, oh crap, I'm going to practice next time. Or, when I said that, it actually didn't sound right. I need to come across differently. So sometimes you just need to get a bit dirty to learn along the way.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to look good and learn something new at the same time. And we have this fear of I'm going to mess it up. Well, of course you're going to mess it up. So just get it done early. Fail forward fast. And so action is always going to be your greatest teacher. When in doubt, go take action. And so the training I just did with my team is you guys just need to think less. Think less. Have actions, have triggers set up all over your house, on your computer, on your desktop, on your phone, on your visor, so that you can just go straight into action. And so whether that's you getting out of bed and you hit the alarm to snooze, what do you need to stop that being even possible? When you've got another 5 minutes there because a meeting didn't happen or you're waiting at a bus stop, what are the actions you can take right there and then? And so you're just really compressing time because honestly, guys, just the more action you take, that's how you're going to learn the lesson. It's not by reading a book and theorizing and thinking about it. Just go take massive action and you'll either win or you'll learn.
That's it. So the first one is decide what you want, where you're going to be. The second one is commit to the skills. The third thing is just kind of following on from what you just said, is your daily habits. So deciding what your daily habits are going to look like. All right. Now, your habits are going to be different to your teenies, to your neighbors, to your upline. It doesn't matter. So this is never a comparison at all. It's about you checking in and going, what am I committed to daily? How am I starting my day? What am I going to listen to get myself in the right mindset? Am I going to, part of your daily habit is going to be taking the products, right? Being a product of the product. It might be a part of your daily habit is you're committing to exercise. It could be reaching out to 10 people a day. Think about what it is that you're absolutely committed to that is a not negotiable when it comes to your daily habits. And get really, really clear on that. And yeah, okay, over holidays, you might waver a little bit. It's fine, but just get clear. So when you know it's game on for January, you know exactly what you're doing and there's no question about that. You're like your habits too, don't you? And getting into your routine. I know when I get off kilter with my morning routine, I'm not in as much of a good mood. I'm not as effective I'm not as creative with my thinking. It sets me up for complete success. Now, if you guys have spent much time with Anthony Robbins or done any of his events, but he's got a really cool, it's a 15-minute kind of meditation. So you're going to have, there's lots of different ones you can find out there, but for me, it's what I love. And it's a priming session. It gets you thinking about it's 3 things you're grateful for, 3 goals that you have. Just really getting clear on your mindset before you even start your day. But then also going, well, how many people am I following up with? How many event links am I committed to sharing? Just what is it that you're absolutely committed to? And then locking that in without question.
I think the big thing there, guys, is placing as much emphasis on your vision, the person that you are, and the person you need to become, and not just action, action, action. Mm. And so I have a lot of team where they're an impeccable work ethic. Like, they tell me what they do in a day. I'm like, man, you make me feel lazy, but they have no fuel behind the fire. So your vision is your fuel, your identity. And so just think about building that, having that as a habit in the morning. Mm. If you're not starting your day with your vision, and there's a great book, this wasn't from GoPro, just something that has been super effective for our team. Hal Elrod did a book called Miracle Morning. And so I'd really encourage you guys to maybe even look at that as a team. And he breaks down your morning routine into this little acronym called SAVERS. SAVERS. So the S is for silence. We live in this very busy society where it's easy to have your mind full all the time, even while you're asleep. And so whether that's meditation for you, whether that's prayer, whether that's just clearing your mind, but taking some time in silence. The A is for affirmations. And the little strategy I would give you for this is come up with 3 to 5 things you're very, very comfortable in putting the words I am in front of. And so why don't you guys just do that? So it might be I am loyal, I am courageous, I am loving. Everyone whack one in there. Whatever the thing is, you could stand up in front of the stage right now and go, I am creative. Let's have a little bit of engagement. So whack that in the chat box. One at a time, not all at once. Just people on their phones, they find it hard. I am enough. I am passionate, loving.
Awesome.
Thank you for your I am sassy. I'm stealing that one. Generous, courageous, a leader, strong.
Dedicated.
Brave,
awesome.
Fierce, NMD. Very good. Love it.
Love it, love it.
Now, if we get back to what step was it? Commit to the skills. What's the gap for you? And so if your vision is NMD, if your vision is 50 club, if your vision is 10,000 a month residual, whatever it is, what's the gap in your character trait of you could not stand there and say, I am a powerful leader. I am an incredible communicator. I am kind. I am thoughtful. So what's the gap for you in your character? So you're very comfortable saying 3 to 5 I ams because you own it. You are that. People around you would very much condone and enforce that. But who do you need to become to fulfill that vision of what you said in step 1? So if you said, I'm walking the stage as 50 club NMD, or I'm walking the stage as an SC, 2 club, whatever it is, this is who I am, but who would I need to become? You know what? I am just not an organized person. And so for me, I need to, I've got Calendly, I got all the stuff there. I just don't use it. I just have stuff on bits of paper scribbled. So that's for me just kind of being vulnerable. So do that as a little exercise. What are the character traits you need to build? What are your IMs? And so if we come back to your habits, make building your character, make building your vision for your dream lifestyle a daily habit. Not just the actions, because you can do, and if you don't be, then you kind of missing the boat. and you're going to get frustrated because you have no purpose. You're not resonating at a certain vibration because you've come alive in the morning because you've got that little process. So savers, I'm all over the place. Silence, A is for affirmations, V is for visualization, E is for exercise. I strongly encourage you. So for me, for visualization, I have a vision board, but I think it sucks. Like, it gets outdated the minute I finished it. And so I like a slideshow. And so I'll go, you know what, I've just taken up kite surfing. I'll just go Google the top 10 kite surfing places in the world, and I'll just whack the pictures in there, and now I've got a slide of that. And then I look at my team and I put a picture of them in the slideshow, and I put NMD next to their name. And you play your NMD song, and so you have that going as a slideshow, and you just play that every day, and you hop on your rebounder, or you're doing your push-ups or your dips or your burpees or whatever. And so visualization isn't a passive thing. You're moving your body, so you're embodying it. And so that's where your visualization and your E, your exercise, come into it in your savers. Your R and your S are read. And so, you know, if you're not putting something inspiring around leadership, communication, touch points, like how to impact people, into your mind. And so whether that's visual or whether it's auditory. And then the last one is to scribe. And so what I would encourage you to do is write the story of your life. Take your affirmations from A, the second one, and start to fatten them out. So instead of just, I am a leader, I'm a powerful, passionate, playful, present, purpose-driven leader. Whenever I communicate, people listen. Whenever I communicate, people are inspired to take action. My life is just one big story of magic moments. I live to create epic adventures for my family. I live a romantic comedy with my wife. And just start writing the story of what your life is until you can get to the point where you can just articulate it. You literally write your destiny.
So
I'll stop.
Yeah, you stop. So we got savers. Awesome. I wanted to then, well, it kind of just ties into the next thing, and that is your environment and your associations. You probably heard that we are, if you look at the 5 people that you spend your most time with, your life is a reflection of that. It's the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so sometimes you need to look at the environment that you're spending time in, or the people you're spending time around, and ask yourself, are these people raising me? Are they challenging me? Am I growing because of them? Or are they pulling me backwards? And sometimes it's a tough conversation to have with yourself, to really check in and go, hey, you know, like, this person, they are completely draining me. They're pulling me back. I'm not dreaming. And it's just, you know, so you need to reassess that. And so one of the speakers said, not only do you want to look at the people around you and your environment, so that everything Anthony just spoke about, the affirmations and your I am statements, like for us, I have them written all over our bathroom mirror. So I've got a side and he's got a side, and I will get up and that's what I'm surrounded by. So look at what your environment is when it comes to physically what's around you, but also what is the soundtrack or the background music of your life? Is the radio on in the background? Is it all negative? Is it a current affair? Is it drama? Or is it inspiration? Is it awesome music that fires you up? Like Carla just said, she's got a 100 Club song. You know, connect with all your team and find out what's their NMD song they want to walk the stages, and make a playlist of that, of your entire team and what they want. Think about the things that light you up and create that environment for yourself, because the soundtrack or the background music of your life, that is just playing there all the time, and it's either going to be raising you up and pushing you forward or pulling you back without you necessarily being aware of it. So one of the things that he also Eric spoke about, was thinking bigger. And, you know, sometimes you hear about people that they don't know what is a normal timeline for someone to get to a level, right? And they reach STVF in 5 days, and they just go, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then they go to the next thing, or where there's just no boundaries and no limitations. And sometimes what we can do is we go, well, they got there in this time, so I reckon I could maybe do it about the same time, or no, I'm not as good as them, so I'll add a couple of months onto my goal. And so he just think bigger. And honestly, us going to the event and being in front of around 20,000 people, it just made me go, I'm still dreaming and playing way too small. I'm comparing myself of what other people have done before me, and that's crazy. I'm limiting myself. And I think if you were to have a really honest check-in with yourself, only you can answer this, right? And only you will ever know. Are you playing small? Are there parts of you that are pulling back in some place and kind of setting something that you think is achievable versus stretching yourself and having that stretch goal? So if you're not stretching yourself to grow beyond where you are, then you're playing it safe. And if you're playing it safe, then the question is, who is not being helped because of you sitting in your comfort zone? What families aren't getting the help they need, the nutrition they need, the financial help they need, the dreams being reignited because you're sitting in your comfort zone? And so when we're stretching and we're expecting more from ourselves and we're challenging ourselves to grow, incredible thing happens. And so, when the unthinkable, that's it. He said, when the unthinkable is the alternative, then you'll do anything to follow your dreams. So giving yourself radical permission to outdream yourself. That's my new hashtag, outdream yourself. You just want to kind of dream bigger. Like, stop playing small and comparing. Don't worry about the people that you might leave behind. Think about the people that aren't being helped right now because you're playing small. Think about your children watching you, seeing mum or dad pull back or play small.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I listened to you.
Do you want to talk about what he did with the girl at the conference? I love that.
So he got to this point of the wrap up, and there was he was talking about how many people you're committed to getting to your conference. And people were putting their hand up, and he started working one-on-one with this lady in the audience. And he said, how many people? And she said 100. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. When's conference? End of January. Okay, cool. How many people are in your downline? 4,000. Okay. So why 100 then? Could it be 200? Yeah, it could be 200. Well, what if those 200 just brought a guest? Could it be 400? And you could see she's just like, all right, I'm kind of checking out now. And then he said, do you have any past relationships of people you're not fond of anymore?
First of all, he said, do you really want help?
Sure. This wasn't just and she's like, yeah, I'm committed.
So I'm just going to get you guys to ask yourself something. There could be a goal that you have coming up, right? And you've set yourself a goal you probably hit. It's not a stretch goal. It's just that comfortable, yeah, I'll probably get there. So just kind of think about yourself in this conversation as Ant tells the story.
So he said, are you sure? Do you want me to help you? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. And you just know shit's about to get real. It was like
Jerry Springer.
It was.
It was
like
cool.
Chairs about to be thrown and stuff, and the midget cousin walks in. No, it wasn't that. But so anyway, you could see her turn red when he said, is there a previous relationship with someone you're not fond of? She said, yep. And it was this French guy. And she said, okay. And so what's an amount of money that you could go without, that you could, lose? And she came up with the figure of, he said, 10. Could it be 15? Could it be 20? She said, yeah, 20. And then he's like, well, how much are you on a month? And I think it was like 10 grand US. So he said, well, why 20? She said, I've got it in the bank. He's gone, well, let's make it 25. And you could see that was her tipping.
The colour drained from her face.
And so he comes back like 400 people to your conference. Can you do it? Yeah. In January. And this was what? 2 weeks ago. And so he said, okay, if you don't have 400, you're going to deposit 25 grand into Frenchie's bank account. And she's kind of like, you can't be serious. And well, can you do 400 or not? And it just became, now whether she does it or not, what happened for me was we set these goals and there's no urgency. There's no leverage on them. It's like, what do you need to put in place to give yourself some, oh shit, I need to bring all of me. And then all of these things that we've spoken about of creating the habit and getting up and doing your visual, you're compelled to do that now. Every single fiber of your being needs to arrive to do that. And so setting the goal, I don't think it's the goal, it's who you need to become to achieve the goal. And so, maybe that's something you have as a little thing for your team. How many people can you get to conference? Because in my mind, it went, I think ours went up about fourfold as well of what's possible. And we've got 6 months to do it. So that still feels a bit small. This was way out there. And so, but this was real. She said this, she committed to this in front of 20,000 people, however many people were watching the stream, however many people have watched the recording. And so take what you will from that.
Yep.
What are the things that you need to put in place that are non-negotiables now? Because if you're this is the thing, guys, it's a universal principle. There are people out there right now who are looking for a better way. They are literally at their wits' end how they can get their kids off their antibiotics, and they're looking for a better way. And if they're not joining your team, if they're not going to be your customer, they're going to be someone else's. And whether it's in Juice Plus or not Juice Plus, whether it's in your line, downline. So as soon as you commit and you decide, you're going to create this vacuum that needs to be filled. But when you have hesitancy and trepidation and, you're just shutting off your next, 30 team growth.
And here's the truth, guys. Sometimes we can major in minor things. We can say I'm working on my business, but we're just scrolling through Facebook, or we're looking at what our team are posting, or we're making some pretty flyer when ultimately we're not doing the things that matter. And so $1 million a year, I'm just going to use this as an example, and please scale backwards to whatever it is your goal is.
Or up.
Or up, absolutely, absolutely. So $1 million a year, if you were to work a typical week, that's $500 an hour rate. So have a look at, what are you doing at the moment that is bringing $500 an hour to your business if $1 million is your goal? Or what's less, what are you flapping about with and distracting yourself and saying, I didn't have time, but actually you found half an hour for wasting time, or you've spent an hour scrolling and face looking instead of Facebooking and getting to work? What are you doing right now that you can delegate as well that allows you to create the leverage that you want? Because it's really easy to make excuses and go, oh, the kids, all this, all that. But if you had to find a way, if there was a do or die, you watch the movies and it's like, you need to, do this in the next 12 hours or else, the whole world's going to end or something. People find a way. Yeah, like that.
Taken.
Yeah, taken. Gotcha. So people find a way, and it's okay. So anyway, so I'm going to move on from that. But just think about what it is that you're doing right now that is a time waster, and what do you just need to stop doing and just not do it anymore, or what do you need to delegate to someone else so that you can start spending time on higher paying activities that are going to get you to where you want to go. So moving to the next thing is letting it go. So number 6 is what do you need to let go of so that 2017 is your year? So what are the beliefs or opinions of people that you need to let go of? What are the people you need to let go of? What are the habits you might need to let go of? I would love you to kind of write down what's 2 things right now that you need to let go of for 2017 to move on and be the leader that you want to be and you truly are. Maybe it's expectations of certain people. Maybe it's some past hurts of someone who threw their opinion at you, or a teamie who kind of let you down and you're disappointed by that. Maybe it's other friends that have joined another company and that's really let you down. Just write it down and get really real with yourself of what do you need to let go of. Maybe it's a belief about yourself that I'm a crap talker, or I'm not a good leader, or I'm not deserving. Just think about what's 2 things that are holding you back. And what would your life be, and who would you be able to reach if you let those go? Who could you reach for the year ahead that you aren't right now if you just let those beliefs go? Because sometimes we can be doing the action. We can be doing the action of a 500 club NND. But if we don't have the beliefs, or we've got some things we're dragging along with us that are not serving us at all, we will not get there. No matter how hard we work, how many hours we put in, if we're still dragging some crappy beliefs and stories along the way, it will not serve you in any way. So you really want to make a conscious decision to let some things go. So check in with yourself on that, and just, I really encourage you to get real.
Robbins talks about the only thing stopping you from doing whatever you want in your life is the story you keep telling yourself of why you can't have it. So the only thing stopping you from having whatever you want in your life is the story you keep telling yourself of why you can't have it. So that's what I love about that miracle morning, the savers, is you get a chance to rewrite your story. And maybe there were some sentences, some paragraphs, some chapters that you just need to let go of. And you rewrite a new story.
Cool. So when you're clear on your vision, guys, and you can let go of some old stories from the past, it's definitely going to help you just set up that 2017 to win. And then the last thing is checking in with yourself on what it is that for the game plan of your year, of each quarter, is what do you need to do in order to achieve your true potential for the year? What does your team need to do? How many events are you committed to? What are the key things that are just locked in that you're going to be? It's training every week. It's listening to an audiobook every week. It's listening to maybe it's MLM Nation or some awesome podcasts, putting the good stuff in your ears. What is it that you and your team need to be stepping into so that you set yourself up for success? It's not we've got Aussie conference in June. No, what are you doing every single day, every single week to really build that? So Eric spoke about thinking about this. What's your training game plan for yourself and your team? What's your customer attraction game plan for yourself and your team? What is your referral game plan for yourself and your team? Your earnings game plan, your personal growth game plan. So just thinking about the different spokes of your business and your life, and what are you going to do about it? How are you going to grow and stretch beyond where you're at? And we're all about doing things in chunks. We love chunking things down. And so if you look at 15-minute chunks of time, if you're going to put 10 hours into this business a week, that's 40 15-minute chunks of time that you get in, you bang it out, and you step away. Sometimes we've had teams that have gone and started doing this business full time, and they were a single mama and they were juggling everything, and it was a bit here and a bit there. And then they go doing this full time, and they're less effective than when they had less time and they were doing it in stolen moments. So you get in, you do 15 minutes and you get out. Honestly, it's just a surge of energy. You get in, you're effective, you're deliberate with your actions, and then you step away. Because if you start putting hours into this, you become less effective. It's draining in your energy. And then you start doing the low-paying activities and you fill up the time and you go, but I've been working on it. And you're not. So we love chunking it down. So looking at, well, what does your week look like? What does your day look like? And how are you going to impact your time for yourself and your team?
Was this supposed to be half an hour or an hour?
Yeah, we talk a lot. Sorry. They're
I
still
don't
on.
think anyone wants you to stop, so I don't think it matters. Time is not an issue. It's only an issue for you guys. Everyone's like, 10 hours. There you go. Keep going. If you guys want to take any questions at all?
Absolutely. I've got one more point we'll touch on, and then questions, you guys can go for it. But I think the last thing is, guys, just work your butt off. Not saying work 60 hours a week, just be really smart and do the actions you know you should be rather than avoiding them. I know I've had certain times in my business that I have totally cleaned my desk and I shuffled my papers and I rewrote my list of things to do 5 times over so it looked all really neat, and I didn't do the things I knew I needed to do. That's what I mean about working your ass off. Get to the things that matter, follow up with the people, send the links, ask the questions you're scared of asking. That's going to be the thing that grows your business. Don't rise to the expectations of others. Go beyond that. Just be your best teamie. If you want to have this amazing team, you've got to lead from the front. You can't be looking at your team reports and, oh, that person's only brought on 3 customers and they're not doing anything, and you're more focused about managing your team than actually leading from the front and taking the actions yourself. And I think that's really important. So don't rise to the expectations of others. You guys already know what you should be doing. I think really, you don't need any more skills. You don't need any more how-tos. It's just getting in and doing the work and being committed to that. And the rest of it flows. I think having an accountability buddy is definitely a great strategy. If you guys kind of look at your sideline buddies and go, hey, I got you. I'm going to hold your butt accountable. We're going to do this. Let's look at it chunk by chunk, quarter by quarter, and let's commit to each other. And it's not about being a friend. It's a true accountability is holding someone up to the standard that you know is possible for them. So I think the big thing we got from the entire event was assuming success. Just I know I'm deserving of this. I am this. This is where I'm going, and figuring out the rest later. Honestly, and when you can do the work that you know you're avoiding right now, amazing things will happen for you, your team, and your business, and the lives that you get to impact because you're stretching outside of your comfort zone is freaking amazing. So, anything else to add to that? Cool. So we might stop the fire hydrant of information right there. If you guys have any questions, please throw them at us.
Wow, guys, seriously, friggin' amazing. I think I have written a whole book of pages for notes here, and I'm sure everyone has done the same. That is just incredible. I just want to see if there was any questions that were coming up. Okay, everyone's just totally inspired by you guys. I think they've just got enough now to run with. It's amazing. And I just really want to thank you guys because, this is amazing for you guys to do this for us as a team, because at the end of the day, we aren't your team. This is a sideline situation, and you giving your time, I know, is extremely valuable for you guys. So on behalf of everyone on this call, I just wanted to say massive gratitude to both of you for your time. Amazing. Such gold in that. What else? Anything else, guys? Everyone's
no. It's been a real honour to be on with you guys. I will just leave with one thing that we went to a business mastery event of Tony's several years ago now, and he brought it up again. And it was a really cool little strategy of how to grow your business by 33%. And I think it's brilliant. If you just have increase your amount of customers by 10% more, so whatever your customer base is right now, increase that by 10%, and then increase their spend by just 10%. So maybe you've got people on fruit and veg and they go to premium, or maybe you've got people just on shakes and they go to capsules as well, or they go to 120 shakes from premium. Increasing that, and then also increasing the frequency of their purchase. You can grow your business by 33% just like that. And so whether that's looking to seek referrals, whether that's implementing, maybe some 30-day kind of resets, or shreds, or whatever it is you guys call it for your customers, kicking off the new year that way, you can really create a lot of growth in your business without having to have a whole lot more new customers coming your way. It's just really, seeing how you can add massive value to the customers you already have and have them sharing and loving on the product. So I think that's really just a powerful little strategy to grow your business. Imagine to be able to grow your income check by 33%. It's just 10% more customers, buying 10% more products, and buying 10% more often, and then that will translate to 33% growth in your business. So, yeah.
There you go. Fantastic tip there. Amazing. All right, we've got a lot of work to do.
He has something else to say, I think, now.
Then I might just go on a rant again.
Oh.
Just crush it.
Yeah.
Just once and for all, commit. So you can be proud of yourself. So you can grow as a person and just look in the mirror and go, I did it. Not for anyone else, just so that you can go to bed each night going, I'm exhausted and just so filled up.
Yeah.
And so whatever you need to do to get to that place, just do it now. Like don't go another week, don't go another year. Just crush it. And the reason we're doing this call is because Juice Plus was not freaking represented up there. Like Jeff Roberti's there, but he's like the dinosaur. Like, I want to see us up there. I want to see a whole bunch of $1 million earners in Juice Plus, because our company is amazing, our product's amazing, and there's people doing water filters and there's people doing makeup. And I'm like, that's awesome, and that sucks. So it's about all of us just crushing it.
Yeah. Not leaving anything in the tank, and only you know that, right? If you're leaving something in the tank or not. So it's cool. Excited to be on this journey with you guys, and thank you so much for having us on. Any questions? Just give us a shout out.
Is it Bassie? Bassie, am I saying that right?
A tip on
Can you how to start if a bit hesitant to do so? So I got a big tip on this. You're not serving someone to start them softly. We look at our stats really closely. If people aren't hitting SDVF, they become a statistic. And so...
Meaning they're not hitting it and getting their bonus.
Yeah, they're just... So when you have someone start, it's kind of like, and I know this might polarize some people, but I'm at a point of you're not serving them to allow them to fail. And I'm not saying that everyone's going to do it, because they're just not. But I would rather you push someone at the start, and by pushing, I mean this. What would you like to achieve out of this? What could this be for you? How do you see this working for you? What can you say yes to if you do that? If you're earning that much a month, what does that mean to you? What do you get to say yes to now? Great. You've got to get that line in the sand. Next step. The people who create success, the kind of success you're talking about, this is what they do. If you want that, you need to do this. And then here's the key question. Is there anything that would stop you doing that? And ask that early. Ask that on day one, because it elicits the limiting beliefs right from the get-go. Instead of you getting a week down, a month down, 3 months down, and they're not doing the actions, you just didn't ask the questions to get to the bottom of the thing they didn't even know that they're scared about. So we'll say, like, the people who are successful, they'll be on a launch event in their first week to two. And the benefit of that is now you're on an event that's recorded that you can send to the people you talk to. And so is there any reason why you wouldn't be on that event? No, I can do that. Great. Oh, I don't know what I would say. You already said it, because when I asked you why you said yes to this, that's all you're going to say on the event. Now, the second thing is that's your launch. That's your business launching. And so if you just opened a juice bar or a coffee shop, who would you invite? Well, everyone. Of course, you want them to know, you want them to support you. And so is there anything that would stop you from inviting 20, 30, 40 people to that event? And it doesn't matter if they're going to do it or not, it's what would stop them. Oh, well, what would people think? What will people say? I don't know how. Who's the first 3 people you're thinking of inviting? Who are the first 3 people you'd love to link arms with on this? Jenny, great. Tell me about Jenny. She's this. All right, let's talk about how you'd invite her. So teach them what to do straight up. All right, so would Jenny be at work? No, she'd be at home. Great, let's call her now. What, now? Yeah, remember, you can't do this on your own. You want success. We need team, customers. If Jenny's your girl, let's call her. I'm going to be right here. And you role play it. So hold their hand, because if you don't hold their hand and just get to the tough stuff straight away, there's never a good time to do that. It's no easier in a week. It's no easier in a month. It's just, so make them do the hard activities straight away, fail forward fast.
So Jess just said, what if someone says to you straight away, is that a pyramid scheme? We love that question.
What do you mean? What's a pyramid scheme?
I don't know what you're saying. Oh, you mean like
No. We have different styles. So don't combine them.
All right, okay, you go first.
Jess.
So sometimes it's good to play dumb.
Can you unmute yourself, Jess?
Yep, unmuted.
All right, let's play along. Can you give me a wave? Where are you? Or can we not see you?
There she is.
Oh, hello. What's a pyramid scheme?
I don't know. What is a pyramid scheme?
And that's typically what people will say. I don't know, like one of those things where, like people at the top earn the money and you just say, well, I don't know, what's a pyramid scheme? And most people have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah.
So by you doing that, it shakes their belief that they thought they had a belief around, and now you're open where you can actually educate them.
I think that the biggest thing now is it's Google. Like it's a great thing to get online and find out information, but I found that if you want to find an answer to something, no matter what that answer is, like you'll find it and then you'll believe that. So it can be negative at the same time. Like my husband, like I've only just started this, and he straight away went to, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, it's a pyramid scheme. I said, no, it's not a pyramid scheme. Like, and then he will go and Google absolutely everything to convince himself it's a pyramid scheme. And then we have a huge argument and whatever. But yeah, I just think the internet times can be evil.
So let's not get so granular. It's a pyramid scheme. Let's just talk about, if anyone challenges you, just ask them a question. Well, what do you mean by that? So it's a pyramid scheme. Well, what do you mean by that? I would, people at the top, they get all the money. Well, it's interesting because we were just on a call the other night, and there's a couple on the Gold Coast, and they've only been doing this 2 years, but they're earning more than people have been doing this for 5 or 10 or 20 years. So I don't think it is, no.
Yeah.
Or what's something else someone might say? We had this the other night when Nat was on our call. What was it? But honestly, just asking questions, I never defend anything. I just ask a question. Well, what do you mean by that? Oh, great question. Why do you ask?
Or sometimes it can be, you know what? I used to think the exact same thing. But when I actually looked into pyramid schemes, what I realized is everyone works in one. There's a CEO at the top, and then they're the ones getting all the money, and then there's all the little people down the bottom, you know, earning their minimum wage. And what I love about this is that there's no income cap, and we get to earn as we help people. So it's just the way you phrase things. What? Anyway, so I'm
not convinced.
Whatever. What I wanted to say was, feel, felt, found. I use that over and over and over again. But I wanted to just kind of touch on, sometimes, Anthony was saying about launching your business strong. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and a lady spoke about, I'll always refer to opening a business like opening a restaurant. Of course, you're going to have a grand opening. Of course, you're going to tell everyone about it. But when it comes to your Juice Plus business, it's like, oh, maybe I'll tell them. I don't know about that. So whether or not people drink juice, drink coffee, whatever, you want to invite them along to support you, right? So a lot of people are walking around with the Juice Plus business, and they're closed for business. So we've kind of got a restaurant that's closed 90% of the time, and then we go, it's not really working. It's not really working for me. Tried that, no, people aren't. But that's because we're closed 90% of the time, because we're shut down. We're not talking about it. We're not actually sharing with people. We're not inviting people to our grand opening. So if you want to be successful, you need to be open for business in the first place. So see your franchise as a franchise. Imagine you purchased a Subway. You don't just pick your hours or go, oh, we're going to do, hot chips and pizzas now, and we're not going to do wraps. Like, no, you follow the system. So you want to be open for business. So don't say it doesn't work when you know you're not really open for business. And I think that's really important. And that's where, if you want to launch someone strong, it is you get them to do that launch post, you get them to share on that event, you get them reaching out to the people they love and care about, and you hold their hand along the way to success. And once they've got that confidence, then that's when they're running by themselves. But if you kind of leave them to their own devices and tag them in a few things and go, well, yeah, they should have done that and they didn't, or they're not following the system. Well, they're failing, but you're not really showing them what's possible either. And they're looking to you as their mentor and their leader to succeed. And if you're just new in it, then cool. Get your upline and your coach to guide you along the way too. That's the power of the team.
Final thought. You'll be challenged on things until your belief is at a level where you don't need to be challenged anymore. So I would say, Jess, that somewhere in there you have a concern of this being a pyramid scheme and what do people think of me and the kind of model of business. Some people might have a thing about the soy. Some people might have a thing about the extra ingredients. Some people we've all got our thing. And until we get the questions answered in ourselves, the universe will send people to challenge you to build your belief. And so if you just keep running from it and ducking and weaving and shrinking, so, that's been my experience. That's been my experience helping team. As soon as you can get their belief to the level where they're confident, you don't attract people who ask the question anymore. Mm. In fact, you kind of want them to ask because, I know this one. I know how to answer this.
Yeah.
We're just going to stop talking now.
We can keep going on and on all night. All these little golden nuggets keep coming out. It's brilliant. All right, guys, we'll leave you to it. It's getting late your end, I'm sure. So thank you so, so much. A massive, massive thank you for your time tonight. It's been amazing, amazing. All right, I'll unmute everyone. Come and say goodbye to these amazing people. Hang on, I'll stop.